In this week's Parashat, I think there's something very fitting to our special occasion today. There's a story of Yaakov and Rachel, and the Torah tells us that Yaakov worked 7 years to get Rachel's hand in marriage. The Torah says, "Vayavod Yaakov berachel sheva shanim." He worked 7 years. "Vayihu ve'enav keyamim achadim be'avato otah." And they were in his eyes like a few days out of the love he had for her. Now, this pasuk doesn't really make sense, because anyone just think back to basic school. You love being out of school, correct? I want school to end. Every minute of school takes forever. You're desperate, you're waiting for school to end. How can it be that Yaakov Avinu loved Rachel so much, yet the 7 years of work that he had to do until he could marry her went by like a few days? On the contrary, you would think that it felt like 14 years. Because he loved her, he wanted to marry her. 7 years felt like 14. No, the Torah tells us it felt like a few days. So they say a very interesting story to explain this idea. There was once a man who was in a restaurant, and he sat down, fancy restaurant. The waiter comes to him and says, "Sir, what do you want to eat?" And the man looks up, looks around, says, "I really love fish. I love fish." "Okay, we'll be back in 15 minutes. The waiter goes back to the kitchen, puts in the order, fish of the day, prepares it, perfect, nice. They bring it out. When all of a sudden he brings the fish to the individual, and the man gets it and sees, oh my gosh, they killed the fish and they're serving it, and now I'm eating it with a fork and a knife. He said, "I love fish. I thought he was asking me what I like. You don't do this to someone you love. How can I eat the thing I love? I love fish. I can't eat it. I want it to be alive next to me. I want to take it home to my fish collection. How can I eat it? I love fish." And in theory, this man is right. How can you eat something that you love? So the idea behind this is the love of our generation, we use it very, very, very meaninglessly and very easily. Yeah, I love fish. It's amazing. But what's the true love that the Torah is telling us with this week's parasha? They felt like few days out of the love he had for her. Why? Because for those 7 years, Yaakov was working towards Rachel, working for her, putting all his might, putting all his energy in attaining her, in marrying her. So therefore, that love, be'avato, the Torah tells us, kept growing because he kept working towards it. And it's a very fundamental idea the Torah is teaching us, that what is the shorish of the word ohev, ahav, to love? The shorish, when you break it down to the smaller, is hav, hey, bet. What's hav? Hav means give. It means to give. And the Torah is telling us that what's the epitome and how do you get to the best level of love? By giving. And I think this is exactly what our Chatan has taught all of us these past years. Before he even met his amazing fiancée. Why? Anyone who knows Josh knows that he is the number one gabbai in our community. He takes community service, he takes giving back to the next level. Everyone in the previous generation was amazing. They paved the way. They taught us how to run the community. But Josh takes it to the next level. Doesn't complain. Doesn't ask for easy way out. He'll take a challenge head on, wholeheartedly, no ulterior motives, putting his time, putting his effort into giving back. And I think that's what makes Josh so unique. And that's what gives Josh the advantage of knowing how to love. He's had this experience with the community. We give a barakah to him and to his fiancée, soon-to-be wife, that this love that he's taught us how to do for each other through his service of the community should continue into his marriage and his relationship for the rest of his life. It'll be easy for him. We should all learn from him the importance of giving, investing in our relationships with our parents, with our spouses, with our children, you name it. It's all a matter of investing and giving. And Be'ez Hashem, we learn from Yaakov and we learn from our dear Josh, and we'll all actually have amazing relationships and know how to love. Mazal Tov, we're very excited to celebrate.